Hello and welcome to another episode of the Christian Reeve podcast. Today's guest is Jack Hatcher, Calamity Hatcher, a good friend of mine. He has now been on the show officially 10 times. This is his 10th appearance. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you, man. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited about this. Let's run through every single appearance. I like to have fun with this every time.
Okay, yeah, no,
So, you were on. This is episode 334. You were on episode 4, episode 18, episode 19, episode 74, episode 123, episode 166, episode 228, 284, episode 300, of course, and now 334.
There's quite an even mixing in there. I quite like that.
Well, you're also the only guest to have ever appeared in each and every year of the show as well.
I
like
mentioned
that
last time
but
because I try and make a habit of that. Like,
I like it.
At least twice a year, I'll try and hit you up and be like, "Right, it's time."
Yeah, I like that, man. It's good. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you to every guest who's ever reached out and come back on the show. I appreciate it. Especially now, I've really struggled to find guests lately. I don't know what's going on. It's show's open, man. I'll have a conversation with anyone who wants to have a conversation, and let's see where we can take it.
If you have a story to tell, link in description.
There you go. There you go. But today's show is all about my good friend Jack. There's lots to catch up on. Let's start with just kind of a general catch up, like where you working, what you doing. Talk to me.
So I'm working in the charity sector in central London.
Oh, wow.
Doing IT, doing my bread and butter. Yeah, it's going well. I've been off work for a little while. Had a little case of the blindness, so I'm doing well.
We'll get to that. Let's start with IT for charity. That's got to be quite interesting.
Yeah, I've been doing it for about a year now. So it's just general office IT. I don't know how to make it sound particularly exciting. I've just done IT.
Impress me. Come on.
Azure, Intune. I'm just going to say words of platforms at you, and that's going to suddenly make you want to take a job in IT. Laptops.
Ooh, wow.
Monitors.
Wow.
Docking stations.
I'm just so blown away right now.
Yeah,
exciting stuff.
No, I've been delving into like the cybersecurity side of things a little bit as well, which is quite nice. It's a field that I've always been really interested in. So.
Would you say that a charity experiences a lot of hacking or attempts at hacking or issues in general from an IT perspective?
I don't know in relative terms to other companies, but phishing is going on everywhere. Phishing and spam, scams and things like that. Like they're going on everywhere. All businesses are at threat at the moment. Lists of emails get dumped online through mass data collection. People buy them, and then they're getting very smart and very sophisticated now. It's getting harder and harder to discern a real Microsoft email. So, it's understandable that people fall for it, but as a result, the cybersecurity awareness has to increase, and particularly in an office environment.
So one thing I saw, which is interesting, so in emails now in Gmail, you'll sometimes get like the blue check mark, like this is an official email.
Yeah,
I never just take that as word though. I investigate it all fully. Like if I'm not expecting an email, I will investigate that shit like it's an episode
definitely.
of Columbo.
I mean, let's be real. If you Google search something, the first three things that come up are sponsored that may very well be a scam. And often are.
Interesting, that. I got one from Alibaba. Got a few from them.
Ah, yes. I've used them once in my life.
Yeah, and I mean, it looked official. It had the tech check mark and everything, but just something about it fell off. Like, it's weird when a big company, goes out of their way to contact you directly by email. That's off, I feel. Unless you're subscribed in some way.
I think maybe it was, but a lot of the time now, where you have things like companies buying companies and things like that, they buy the database, don't they? They buy the email addresses and they data mine the hell out of it.
They buy your data, don't they? Yes, they own you. They own a map of you, essentially.
Exactly. People have been moaning about Google doing this in recent times. I'm like, I've been playing Pokemon Go for God knows how long. Google has known where I've been all times of the day anyway for about a decade. Go away.
I think what's scary moving forward is kind of like trying to get away from that, you know. I've spoken quite extensively about my fears of AI and how people seem to just be so unaware of its effects. They're just really happy to mess around, but they don't understand the consequences of said fact, you know. And like, don't get me wrong, like, we've been data tracked forever. Like, even before any of the internet, we were always being tracked in some shape or form. But there was at least a way to be off grid, whereas like now it's like almost impossible, you know. Like, they're just phasing out money, they're phasing out everything. It's getting kind of scary.
I mean, I think the biggest thing that I hear on AI is the fear that it's going to take our jobs, and
already is.
It already is, and it will continue to take more. But human beings want convenience. That is what they care about more than anything. Whether it be from a sitting at home perspective or a money-making perspective. Companies will use generative AI. You know, it will happen. People will use ChatGPT at home to create other things. It will happen. And I really hope, like, particularly in the creative services industry, I really hope that we, in the midst of it, don't lose the grasp of like real creation. But this stuff would not be able to thrive and would not be able to provide what it provides and do as well as it does if we as a society didn't want it. So I think if you want to change the habits of AI, you want it to not be go the way it's going, people have to defiantly take a stand and not use the damn products. But billions are using ChatGPT every day.
Yeah, it's got its uses. I use it for podcasting, and it's been invaluable. But at the same time, like, I don't. And I was saying this on the stream the other day, that like, I think the problem is not AI directly. It's more people's usage of it and using it to replace thinking, trying, you know, like attempting, learning. I just think people are getting so lazy to the point where we are becoming what we've been warned about, which is I can't fucking speak today. Please give me strength. A consumerist society to the max, to the point where we don't produce, we don't create, we just consume, and that's all.
We're like 50 to 100 years off being the people in WALL-E on the chairs in the spaceship.
Exactly what I was thinking about. Yeah.
We just got to figure out how to actually not live on the planet, and that's just going to be what we become.
I just think that's like a travesty, though. Do you know what I mean? We should be aiming towards that, like, Star Trek kind of, I don't want to say lifestyle, but world.
We can't do that. If we can't, if the human race has to segregate people of the human race based on where they come from on that one planet we're all on, how the hell are they going to get on with aliens? We won't last 2 seconds in space. We'll go out there giving it the big un, and we'll just get shot down. It's not happening. You see them start trying to paint roundabouts on the side of spaceships. No, see you later.
Yeah.
Not happening.
No, I get your point.
We will not last 5 minutes in space.
Let's move it on. Back to you. So, are you still DJing? You still doing your thing?
I am. I'm still DJing at Face Down, which is something I'm very proud of. I absolutely love Face Down. We pull an amazing crowd every month. When's this going out?
Question. Next week?
Okay, if this is out before next Friday, Friday. King's Cross, Scala at King's Cross. We're doing the Face Down Stranger Things party.
Oh.
So come listen to some pop punk. I will be DJing. There'll be many other DJs. It's a wonderful time.
Nothing says Halloween like pop punk.
Exactly.
Nothing says terror like
we missed
Bowling
it
for
this
Soup.
year. This is the problem, because we're the first Friday of the month. We always end up missing Halloween slightly.
That's on Friday now. This year.
I know,
Friday
but it's the last Friday of the month. It's not the first Friday of the month.
That is the last Friday of the month.
Yeah, but we're on the first Friday of the month.
Boo! Just tell them to book it. Fuck it. They'll book it. It's Halloween. They'll come.
Yeah, but that's a big night, isn't it?
Excuse for everyone to dress up and fucking listen to pop punk.
Yeah, but we do it the next week, and it's generally one of our busiest ones, and everyone does come dressed up. To be fair as well, who you spend all this money on a Halloween costume, and you wear it one night a year, and then next year you won't be seen dead in the same Halloween costume. Just stick it on a second night, stick it through the wash. You can be the bloke from Squid Game for a second night, you know.
Such a weird concept to me, Halloween. My girlfriend's really into it. Like, that's her Christmas. That's her night of the year. Is Halloween.
Yeah, exactly the same with my fiance.
Get it, man. Oh, fuck, your fiance. Congratulations. I don't know if I was told that or not. I think no. I did congratulate you, but here's the official.
It was a year ago now.
All right,
it's a year ago now, mate.
Well, we should have got married. You lazy shit.
Nah, taking my time. No, it's good. It's that beautiful honeymoon period now.
No, the honeymoon comes after you're married, dude. That's
but that's the honeymoon's honeymoon.
Just making shit up now.
It's like the Battle Pass premium, essentially.
Battle Pass premium.
So basically, by putting a ring on Jess's finger, I have signed up for the lifetime Battle Pass.
No, you've
some very nice perks, some very nice.
You made a reservation, but the reservation don't last forever, bro.
No, mate, it's a direct debit. It's fun.
It's a direct debit. Don't let her hear you say that.
It's like Fortnite Club. It's a battle pass that comes out every time the battle pass refreshes.
What? You fucking lost me now.
Have you not seen how Fortnite works these days?
Yeah, you just pay out of your asshole.
you buy the battle pass, and then there's something called Fortnite Club, where you get every battle pass.
All right, let's talk modern gaming.
They charge you for it.
So I think that's the biggest scam going. Like, okay, I will always be old classic gamer, retro gamer, right? Because I like to own the physical shit. I like to unlock the stuff in the game. I don't like how every game now, I sound like such an old man, but like is just only geared towards online play. Like you just completely ignore the single stories. Yes, I know there are examples that are contradictory to what I'm saying, but for the most part, taking Fortnite as an example. Now, Fortnite is, as I understand it, a battle royale game at its core. That's what it is. That's what the product is. But what bothers me is that you buy these skins or, character outfits, and to purchase that costs you close enough to what buying a game would cost you.
Well,
or thereabouts. Depends on the skin, right?
Not really. Well,
okay. If I want to buy like a Spider-Man skin, how much is that going to cost me?
So, okay, let me do a full kind of breakdown on this. So, there are some that will cost like 2,000 V-Bucks. I'm not sure how much that is in real money, but that's about 15 to 20 pounds. But then a lot of them will be in the Battle Pass, which is, I believe, like 900 V-Bucks, which is obviously a lesser money. And by that, you grind through the Battle Pass by doing missions in your games that unlock those characters as you go. You don't pay anything on top of that for them. I think I understand what you mean in terms of the free-to-play model, because I think the free-to-play model gives us a lot of shovelware that it's just there for making money.
When the Travis Scott one, because that was a big one in the last year, when that came out, that was originally worth 1,500 V-Bucks. How much is that in like pounds?
But that would have been some. I have no idea. Probably
Okay.
not that far off.
I will find out for us.
Yes, this is a currency converter.
1,500 V-Bucks in pound. There you go. People have searched this, obviously. Let's see.
How much?
Is. Oh, what? Like, that can't be right.
What? 1,500 V-Bucks or
It's
dollars?
worth like nothing. That can't be right.
Is it V-Bucks or dollars?
That's what I'm trying to find, is just V-Bucks. V-Bucks.
Oh yeah. V-Bucks aren't worth that much, I don't think.
Yeah, but it has to be a substantial amount. It can't just be like nothing, because there was the whole point of what I'm trying to get. Okay, right, we're getting somewhere. 1,500 V-Bucks right now is equivalent to around, let's say, about £10.
Okay.
Right? That seems more agreeable to me. But like some of them get a little bit pricey, to the point where it's like, I understand wanting to customize your game. Great. That's always been a great thing to do. But when it starts getting a little bit too expensive, or like, for example, when you're buying like add-ons or downloadable content, stuff like that, and it ends up costing way more than the game is worth, or when they kind of release a game, but then to get all of the main game you have to buy it extra, I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, I sit into places with DLC as a model.
DLC, that was the word I was looking for. Thank you.
I sit in two places, because if you give me a fully finished product that is brilliant as it is, and then you say, actually, we'd like to do something additional for it, then I'm like, okay, sure. Like, I'd be interested in going back to that world for a reduced price, say like a £20 DLC. I hear the Elden Ring DLC, for example, basically added a whole new fucking game to Elden Ring. But then, you get some good face stuff, like Sonic Frontiers had free DLC that came with it that completely rewrote the end of the game because people weren't too keen on the ending.
So it's an alternative ending.
Yeah, an alternative ending, but it's considered the canon ending by the majority of people. Where it's like a ridiculously spiked difficulty, the story resolves differently with boss battles, you get
That's
new
weird.
supersonic form, it all goes back, but it's a free DLC.
It's cool, but it's weird.
To feedback. It is weird, but they listen to feedback and we're like, all right, let's make this what you want it.
It's weird. It's like, it's not the ending we want. Make the ending we want. Oh fuck!
No, it wasn't that. So I'll break it down. Basically, the whole premise of Sonic Frontiers is the boss fights, in which you go supersonic and you just start wailing on these giant monsters, just absolutely beating the living shit out of these massive robot things.
Good stuff.
Yeah, always good fun. To Kellen Quinn from Sleeping with Sirens screaming in the background. It's all a vibe. It's all a vibe. But then they made the final boss basically Space Invaders. And everyone was like, yo, why? And it's because it got rushed out by Sega, because it had been in development for 5 years at that point. So they were like, we need a return on this. You need to put it out. So the director of the game didn't have a chance to. Well, this is what, is said in interviews and things like that from people, from the guy who worked on it. He didn't get the time to do it the way he wanted to do it. And then when given the option for the DLC, he was like, right, yeah, let's do it. Let's up it, make it crazy. But, that's the thing with DLC. Then you get games like the new Pokémon, which really looks like a C for effort on Nintendo's part. But all of the Pokemon games these days are C for effort on Nintendo's part. And then there's
what makes you say
DLC that you
that?
can buy at launch.
Let's explore that for a second. Why is it C for effort? Why is it not good compared to previous games, previous generations?
So we'll go back to Sword and Shield, which are the not release games for the Switch, but they were the Pokemon games for the Switch, the first ones. At this point, to not include all the Pokemon is a bit ridiculous, because all the games on Nintendo DS's and Game Boys have been able to do it before that, and now we're on this and we couldn't do it all. Then they locked a load of those Pokemon behind paid DLC, like the other Kanto starters. Squirtle and Bulbasaur were locked behind the DLC. The game felt a bit bland, especially compared to open world titles at the same time. And you have to think, as much as people want to put hardware limitations on the Nintendo Switch, you had Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, games that had stylish, very well rendered open worlds with lots going on, and Pokemon, the world's biggest entertainment franchise of all time, raking in billions, can't put the effort in to make it the Pokemon game that we want, a Pokemon world that feels lived in, and, you know, attacks having real animations instead of the standard, you know, like just basic things that we have out of so many RPGs. Why the hell don't we have it out of Pokemon?
I gotta say, for me, it's like one of the biggest dreams I've always had, to have like a Pokemon RPG akin to like Skyrim kind of vibes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the thing we all dreamed about when we were kids.
Yeah, like
playing
you climb
the
some
Game Boy
mountains,
games.
and
Right.
find a Dragonite.
Exactly. And I think it's within their power to do it. Like, I think what would make more sense would be if you just kind of started from scratch and go, right, Pokemon, the game. You start with Kanto. You just master Kanto, see how it goes, see how people react to it. It's probably going to go down very well. And then you build upon it. And you could either expand upon the existing game and go, right, now we're releasing Johto DLC.
So like GTA Pokemon, essentially. Each time we're going to a different region.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because then you don't have to keep building a different engine every time. You can just, same engine, just new story, new everything. Use the existing games you've made as a baseline. You can do something new with it if you want, do the same story if you want. There's a lot of stuff you could do with that. Point is, the focus is on, as you say, that RPG style, the 3D style that we've always wanted, which I know has been captured in later games. Like, I've not played since Fire Red, Leaf Green. That shows you how out of touch I am. But I fucking love those games. I go back and I play them all the time. Whereas when I see the modern stuff, there's nothing really that pulls me in. And especially when I hear about how you play the games now versus how you used to play them. So, for example, a big, I suppose, thing that stood out for me that was a positive was building a team that has strength within its differences, and also being able to kind of pretty much defeat any Pokemon with your built team. There'd always be that flaw in your team, but like based on your strategy, how you use, I don't know, potions, other items, and also how you battle was how you'd win, right? But the key was that you could always defeat other teams based on the strengths within your team. Like, I've got fire, I've got water, I've got ice, I've got ghost Pokemon, I've got normal, like stuff like that. Then I start hearing about these modern games, and it's not like it was in the day. Types that can't be defeated by any other type. They have no weakness. Well, what's the fucking point then?
Yeah,
I don't understand
there's things like there's just some weird kind of mechanics to it all now, and some things have changed for the better, some things have changed for the worse. Like the EXP share thing, I really don't like EXP share. So basically, every battle you do, all your Pokemon get the same experience.
Oh, that's changed.
Doesn't
It
matter.
used to only be one.
Yeah, the Pokemon you fought with got experience. That's not the case anymore.
Okay, so does it do that without you asking it to do that?
Yeah, I think you can turn it off. You might be able to turn it off, but yeah.
Yeah, because like I liked the idea of being able to like switch between characters during battle, and then only the characters that you played with would get the EXP. Then you get the EXP give item later in the game, which you can then choose specifically which one other Pokemon also gets it, but it would only ever be one. Yep. I can see the advantages of splitting all your EXP, but it would also mean that it's going to take significantly longer.
It doesn't split it all.
Okay.
Everyone gets the exact same amount.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So it doesn't split the overall EXP. It's like, 300 XP for killing the Pokemon, and then every Pokemon in your party gets the 300 XP. It doesn't split it between them.
Oh, what the fuck?
It's just to power level people through the game.
That's too easy then. That's the reverse.
The games are too easy now.
I guess it's because it's designed for really young kids, though. Maybe that's why. Maybe they identify.
Yeah, I mean, that is the thing that we need to kind of grasp in us as we are middle-aged men talking about.
We're not middle-aged. What the fuck?
Well, if we live to 60, we are. So
we get to 40 or 50. 50 is considered middle-age, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
30 is.
All right.
We're young men.
Right,
adult
I knew
men.
you were going to say that.
I still get
like
called
a young man, Christian. I certainly don't.
It depends on context. If I'm around a bunch of 20-year-olds, I feel old as shit. If I'm around people in their 50s, I feel really young. It really depends.
See, I feel really young, but at the same time, I'm like,
I know what you mean.
I'm jealous. You're gonna go back at 7 o'clock and be in bed by 8. Oh, that sounds amazing. What's on the telly this evening? Heartbeat, wonderful. Let's go.
How old are you, Heartbeat?
Well, I'm not that old, but we grew up in the 90s.
So to give people context, when we were growing up in the 90s and the 2000s, when you would go to bed on a Sunday night, early-ish, no. Heartbeat was like on at like 7 or 8 p.m. in the night, and that was like a signal. Oh, it's time to start winding down for bed now. Like it's time to. Yeah. It's quieter time now. Adults are gonna watch fucking Heartbeat.
Yeah,
it's not actually that bad, to be fair.
It was like a little Welsh village, wasn't it? Was it Welsh?
Don't know. Maybe it was Yorkshire.
Maybe. That's no offence to. If we got that wrong, I apologise.
Gonna offend the Welsh.
Well, I hope I don't offend the people of Yorkshire. I'm in Yorkshire at the moment.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm in Yorkshire.
We had some Yorkshire people in recently.
How did that go?
They're nice. They're nice.
Good. I thought it was going to be a horror story.
No.
So tell the children.
No. All right. Let's move on. Okay. I want to keep it positive before we get into anything. Yeah. Yeah. So actually, well, no. Actually, no. Let's talk some miserable shit, and then we'll end on maybe something positive.
No, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We've spoken about gaming. We've spoken about Sonic a little bit.
Ah, my boy.
Let's talk about Sega. You wanted to talk about this. Let's give some context for people that might not know. So, Jack worked at Sega for around 2.5 years. It was a dream job. For example, fun stuff like he would take a picture with the massive giant Sonic statue they had at the front of the building. I did that religiously. Obviously, he was still creating Sonic content. He had access to early games, early stuff, and to some extent, the company would sort of, clue him in on certain things or allow him to see certain things or get his opinion even on certain things, which is awesome. And I know that meant a lot to you, and it was really cool. It's cool to see that. So there's a few things I want to explore. Let's take it back to the moment that you lost your job. So as I understand, you were made redundant. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Can you talk about the reasons why that was the case? Was it just they just happened to be cutting costs, or maybe your job wasn't as needed as it was before? Like, what could you talk about that? Bit tricky.
So, I don't know if it's tricky because it's all public information.
Okay.
Let's.
Anything that you can't talk about legally, we can move
I
past.
suppose we should talk about Hyenas. So,
Hyenas.
Hyenas was a game being developed by Creative Assembly, who are one of the studios underneath Sega Europe.
Okay.
And this game had a reported very high budget. And that's coming from games reporting websites. I don't know what that is. I wasn't privy to that information.
Okay, so it's speculation. It's not fact.
Yes.
Then. Yep.
I played the beta of the game. I streamed it on my channel.
This is while you were working for Sega?
While I was working there, I was given a code by the marketing manager for the game, and was given a few additional ones to give out to people that watch the stream. Not many people watched the stream. It wasn't particularly successful. It wasn't. I had my fun playing the game, but I couldn't envision some sort of future where I boot up my PC every night to play Hyenas. That's just the way it was.
Is there any particular reason for that, or was it just didn't interest you?
I feel it was just a bit bland, in my opinion. It flashed a lot of vibrant colours in its presentation, its marketing, but I felt it was just a zero gravity shooter that wasn't particularly fast paced. I would maybe attribute it maybe a bit more to the stylings of like a Team Fortress 2 or something like that. But I wasn't a game that I was going to boot up every day. That game, after a long development time and a lot of money put into it, was completely cancelled because that beta did not go very well.
Oh, I see. So it was never officially released then?
It was never released. The trailers were released. I went to events where we were displaying the trailer for Hyenas, but it was never officially released.
It's a shame.
I mean, it is in my personal opinion, I think there was a lot of misguided attempts with that game. I think that game, again, in my opinion, was too far behind its time.
No.
I think it's the kind of game that potentially would have done very well around the original Fortnite, PUBG kind of launch era.
Okay, playing devil's advocate for a second, there's a lot of games that are being released by indie studios right now that are trying to recapture beloved times. Like, for example, there's a lot of games out now that resemble that kind of early Resident Evil style. Like, graphically, they actually look like that.
Yeah.
And you could make the argument, oh, why would someone want to play this? But then people love playing it. Now, granted, maybe it's because it's capturing a sort of some nostalgia for people. But given that context, why do you think a game like Hyenas couldn't kind of recapture a bit of that nostalgia of, what would that have been, the early 2010s when Team Fortress 2 came out? Or late 2000s?
Something like that, but I think because it was just more live service.
Live service?
Yes, and the gaming community has spoken out at length now that people have had it with live service games. These games where you always need to be connected to the internet to play the game. Mm-hmm. You buy the new battle pass every month. You buy your skins. What we were talking about earlier, and that's what Hyenas was, with those slightly, I feel, in my opinion, slightly outdated mechanics. It had its own cast of characters that they'd invented, and none of them were particularly striking to me. except the one who was a Sonic cosplayer, a hyperactive Sonic cosplayer in a motorcycle helmet that had Sonic stuff attached to it, which almost kind of seemed like it was taking the mick out of the fans a little bit. But I was like, okay, I'll play that character. There's a shadow variant for it. Cool. But outside of that, there just wasn't much to it, really.
That kind of brings me on to an interesting question. In this day and age, how do you think Sega regards its fans? Like, how does it work with its fans? In your opinion, like what,
I don't think it's possible to ask that question as about Sega as an organization.
Okay.
Because when you look at game development, these products come from the development studios. So Sports Interactive, for example, they produce the Football Manager games. Could you, say, how do they treat their fans? Well, let's look at what happened with Football Manager last year. It didn't launch. It didn't come out. They didn't feel that it was a good enough quality because they were transitioning engine, I believe, to Unity, that they wanted to release it. Now, in one breath, you can say that's not good for the fans. They're not getting the release they want. But on the other hand, I would personally say that's quite good for the fans. They don't want to sell you something that they don't think is acceptable, that's not up to their standard. So I would say that's a good one. I think Sonic Team are tremendous with their fans. And that's something I really have to kind of keep going over in my head and readjusting with, is like, no one at Sonic Team wronged me. The head of Sonic Team sent me the best email I've ever had in my life. A very supportive email. Lovely man named Takashi Iizuka. Always been a hero of mine. And I reached out to him for guidance when I was feeling a bit lost while working there, and he came back and just gave me exactly literally like a father patting you on the back with an email. Daddy Zook, as he's known to the Sonic community. So, it's important to kind of distinct that, even though I struggle with that quite a lot at the moment.
Well, let me throw a question that will tie into that, because I was going to ask about your experience, but let's just talk about in relation to your feelings about Sonic and Sega, etc. Has your experience working with Sega affected your love of Sonic the Hedgehog, the franchise, and or other Sega properties?
Massively.
Okay. Why?
I think...
Because I'll say, before you answer, I'll say this. In your previous answer just before then, you made a real interesting point about Sega, the organization, and then the games developers working under them, which is a very good point. Sega is a corporate entity. When we think of Sega, I think you and we tend to think of like, oh yeah, like back in the day, Sega Dreamcast and the Mega Drive and Sonic, and that's where our head is at. And all of that is Sega, and that's their properties, but they're no longer team. Yeah, they're no longer that small little company anymore. Now they're this huge conglomerate.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to your experience, this
I mean, I definitely think it's changed things. It's made it more difficult to produce content, for example. In fact, there's a few, so let me break those down. But I think content creation has been really difficult. We've just had the launch of Sonic Racing Crossworlds, which I absolutely love, but I stated very openly, outright, I am not buying this game. Because I'm not giving Sega £70 of my money for a racing game.
It kind of reminds
me by a friend. So after that was done, I played the hell out of it, but I
I
wasn't
will
going to pay
say
it.
this speaks to what I was saying earlier about how games are just getting far too expensive now for what they are. Like my housemate said that my previous housemate, he owns a Switch and he loves like the Mario games, but there was like a new Mario Kart or something coming out. Same thing, 70, 80 quid, and he's like, I just can't justify spending that much money for just a small racing game. You know what it is. Everyone knows what it is. It's just too much.
It's ridiculous. I mean, Sonic Racing is coming, I think, £10 cheaper than that racing game. And
Bargain.
have you not, to be fair, I've got to give it out to, again, Danny Zook. He turned up at the Tokyo Game, not the Tokyo Game Show, the game, I think it was the Game Awards or Summer Game Fest or something like that. Turned up with a new trailer for Sonic Racing Crossworlds and just got on stage and said, and unlike another kart racer, ours is completely cross-platform. And the whole crowd went wild. And then they did a trailer where they put some picture of some in one of the trailers for Crossworlds. They took the piss out of Mario Kart by putting this broken down trailer on the side of like a desert road.
They want to be careful with that.
And every tweet or post that Nintendo made about Mario Kart World, the comments were just filled with pictures of that thing, of that like busted trailer. And then what was it? In the end, Nintendo got a thing about it. Oh, yeah, no, Nintendo did kind of try and put an end to it, and were like, yes, all these great Sonic the Hedgehog games that you can play now on Nintendo Switch 1 and 2. And it's like, yeah, Sega ain't got a console no more, have they? Fair enough. But
yeah, I just clocked. Yeah, that's pretty brutal, actually.
But to be fair, I think the internet trolled them
Nice.
completely with it. But yeah, I think 78 quid for a racing game is silly.
I think it speaks to another thing as well about modern gaming, because we grew up in a time where games typically were around the £40 price mark. Sometimes it'd be more if it was a special release, but that was kind of what it was. Gaming is just more expensive now. Maybe that's the only price point. But it does beg the question, how much is too much? Because people will accept the incremental price increases. We've now reached a point where 70, 80 quid is considered normal. I think it's insane, but I get it, right? But then again, I'm a lapsed fan. I'm not tapped into modern gaming. If I had been, I'd probably just look at that and go, well, yes, it's more expensive, but this is where we are right now. How much is too expensive?
I mean, I don't know, because I'm not an accountant, and as much as
Dude, fuck all that, dude. As a fan, as a gamer,
as someone who worked in the gaming industry but wasn't that in depth into that side of things, right? I mean, the perfect example, I think, is like, look at Microsoft. So you have Xbox.
Yes.
Xbox own Activision Blizzard. Every Call of Duty game costs about $400 to $700 million to make. Game Pass means that not as many people are buying that. But then I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. You know, that makes complete sense. But then Microsoft is still making record fucking profits every year. And they're still laying off staff left, right, and centre. Sega Europe, funny enough, bought Rovio just before I left the company. And on the Rovio are the guys that own Angry Birds. They created Angry Birds. They own the property. They've been working on Sonic Rumble for like a year again, I think. Don't quote me on that. It might be longer, maybe slightly shorter. They've been working on that for God knows how long. They announced the release date the same day they announced they're laying off 30 people from Rovio, a studio they just bought. They're making record profits right now. So, like, Sonic Racing Crossworlds is making them stupid money right now.
I think I've seen that in so many companies. That's not just a Sega specific thing.
No, it's not. It's a game, but in the gaming industry, it's rife.
Yeah, but it's just companies in general, even outside of the gaming industry. It's cutting your bottom line because you want to focus your efforts elsewhere.
But there does seem to be an unprecedented wave in the gaming and the entertainment sphere that does seem disproportionate to, you know, your general office worker. Maybe you work at, I don't know, Dunder Mifflin Paper Company. You know, it like for all the layoffs you hear about in the office, the gaming industry has one of those like each day at some gaming company. It's ridiculous. And it's at a time when the gaming industry is making more money than ever before. It just keeps going up. More people are into gaming, but there's never been a better time to be a gamer. And I know you're going to be like, oh, I don't know, we had it pretty good as kids. Yeah, we did. But in terms of access to gaming, we've never had it better than we do now. Like, granted, back in the day, you know, we had maybe you were a Nintendo, maybe you were a Sega Mega Drive, then maybe you were a PS1, an N64, maybe you were a Dreamcast kid, a GameCube, wherever you went to, PS2, PS3, or any of that. We're now at the point where we can play a lot of those games that we on those previous consoles. A lot of us have got access to a PC that can play a lot of those games from our childhood and current games, depending on what you've got. Really and truly, like, we're in a time where accessibility for games has never been better.
You don't own those games. You own a code in a box.
And
license. You have to have an internet access to play them. I can go play my Xbox One without any fucking internet access and enjoy all those great games.
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
it depends what you buy. On PlayStation, so I'm a PS5 guy at the moment. I generally find that most aren't code on a disc, and PlayStation and Xbox have been quite good for that, with the exception of some Ubisoft games. I haven't bought a Nintendo Switch 2, and I'll be honest, you know, there was no release title for me. I looked at it and I was like, okay, I don't care about Mario Kart because Sonic Racing is coming out, and that was announced beforehand, and obviously that's going to take my vote in that one. I don't really care about Donkey Kong Bonanza. Kirby Air Riders I care about, but I'm not buying a nearly £500 system for Kirby Air Riders. And I sat there through that whole direct, Christian, sitting there. Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Smash. I was like those guys in the film. Where was my Smash Bros? There was no Smash Bros. And there ain't going to be a Smash Bros. Because Daddy Sakurai's had enough. He said enough of this Nintendo shit. You know the Tiddy's 90 joke in Deadpool and Wolverine? Yeah, that's Daddy Sakurai working on fucking Smash Bros. Till he's 90. And he's Japanese, and he looks like he's 10 years old now when he's in his 40s. So he's probably going to live to like 200, and they're just going to keep milking him for Smash Bros. So I haven't brought a Switch 2 because I'm not doing it.
I get it.
I'm not doing it. I don't own any of my games, even if I buy a fucking physical cartridge. Are you stupid? But that's the big one. If we're talking about all this, how aren't we talking about Nintendo? Because Christian doesn't want to get sued.
Okay.
Because Nintendo will sue us for anything.
You brought it up. You brought it up.
No, hang on. I don't want to get sued by Nintendo either.
I was worried about Sega suing us. That was what I was worried about. Listen.
Me too, to be fair.
I've been threatened to be sued on the show at least twice now. Once by a newspaper company, and once by who was it? You know the people that run that alleged cult, Twin Flames universe or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
They threatened to sue me.
For
so
what?
I had to take down because it was argued as defamatory. And this is what I mean about defamation is a tricky one because okay, that was a bit different. That was a person talking about her experiences in a twin flame relationship and then kind of commenting on the Twin Flames universe and everything. But I don't know. I mean, it kind of raises a question. You should be able to offer opinions about something and it not be considered defamation. If we talk about Sega and your experiences at Sega, that in of itself is not defamation. Because you're just talking about your experience. That shouldn't be defamation because it's...
Yeah, but this whole legal system is catered toward the little guy. It favours the corporation. Catered against the little guy. It's to favour the corporation.
Well, I mean, even if you're right, And, let's say you go into a lawsuit with a big company like that, and you're right, and you've got a case. If you don't have the money to fight
You can't even
against
fight
them,
it, yeah.
you would just lose on that ground because you just can't afford court fees.
Yeah.
And that's more my concern is just the affordability of taking a case like that.
All right, okay, we'll dance around like this. I don't like the way that Nintendo is perceived to behave in media that has been broadcast by other people and is in no way affiliated with myself, Calamity Hatcher, or the Christian Reeve podcast, but is instead commented on by everyone, although Nintendo's lawyers will still probably find a way to find this. So please, we do not insult the god Mario and do not wish to suffer his evil plumber wrath. Thank you.
You can criticize Nintendo. They're not going to sue you for that.
Apparently, you can't criticize Nintendo. It's like
What do you
Taylor
mean?
Swift.
No, because no one's going to sue you. The fans will just come after you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you're gonna have your day in court and die, or you're gonna have your day on Twitter and die.
I don't know where you're getting this from.
Switch 2.
Listen, I don't care as long as I don't get sued. All right, I don't know where I don't know what your beef with Nintendo is, but
but this is
nothing
what
to do with
about.
me.
It's Nintendo lawyers.
They're not gonna sue you for just saying, "Oh, I don't like Nintendo." That's not. They're not gonna sue you for that.
They're suing Power World for all their stuff, for saying that you can't catch monsters in a ball anymore. And then,
what are you on about?
Do you not hear about this?
I don't know what you're talking about because
have you heard of popular game Power World?
What I'm trying to say here is just criticizing a games company is not enough for grounds for defamation. People do that on the internet every day. I'm sure there's about a million videos I can find on YouTube now of people criticizing like the latest Mario game or whatever.
All right, that's fine. I'm going to believe you. But if Kirby knocks on my door in a suit, I'm sending him to yours. Okay?
You can review a game, you can criticize a game, fine. Okay, where the defamation side comes into play is more like, I mean, we were going to talk about Sega and your experience working at Sega. Now that obviously gets into some legislation issues because you worked there, you had a contract there. I'm sure, as I said to you off camera, with that contract, when you left the company, you're still liable for everything that you learned and were privy to during that time. And then also just in general, not speaking disparagingly about the company. Like, you can criticize them, there's no reason you can't criticize them, but you can't talk about specific stuff that you were privy to.
Yes.
Anything. I mean, what is it they call it? You probably just signed a non-disclosure agreement, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And with that, I don't know if you paid attention. Did it last just for your employment, or is it like indefinite?
I can't even remember now. Such a long time
ago. I'm gonna wager it's indefinite because they want to protect their properties, protect their company, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And as I understand, your issues with them are more to do with your actual employment rather than the way the company is run. The way the company is run is the way the company is run.
Yes.
It's an organization, and as you rightly put it, you're a fan of Sonic and the whole Sonic community and what they do there. Maybe you're just not a fan of the corporate Sega structure and the way things are run.
Yes, yeah.
Fine. Okay. So as we get into this next section, it's opinion, and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna be the devil's advocate and call you out on any bullshit. So Sega, if you're listening, I'm doing your work for you. Right. You worked there for 2 years. You were let go as part of redundancies. That's pretty cut and dry. You were gutted when that happened. I remember it was like your dream job. It sucked. It was what it was. You made a series of videos, I recall, where you were kind of testing the waters as far as mentioning them, but it was like, ex-Sega employee has opinion on XYZ.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second. Did you ever get a cease and desist, or did you ever get told you couldn't do that? Okay.
No. So I I had a friend who's still at the company, someone I absolutely love there. And that's one thing we probably should quickly preface is I still know and absolutely adore a massive chunk of the people that work there. So, no throwing no shade. They said to me they're probably not gonna like it.
Probably not.
That's
No?
as far as it went. But if anything, as I would often say at the beginning of the videos, as someone that's worked in that environment and someone that very much knows the intricacies of how these things work, maybe I can offer a different perspective to those that you may go and watch. Because, I always found it quite a funny contrast of watching Sonic tubers talk about game, leaks and all of that kind of thing. And then when I started working there and then I started listening to all these videos, I was able to be like, okay. I see how this works now. You're full of shit, completely full of shit, or you think it works that way. And I understand why these signs would tell you that things don't work that way. Like,
Okay. Speaking to that, then
I couldn't give you specifics, but because I can't actually think of any. But
was there any creators, either Sonic tubers or just people talking about Sega stuff, that had either correctly predicted things or just knew like a little too much, and you were like, you must have some inside information? How do you know that?
Sonic Frontiers.
Okay.
That all the early leaks of what we got on Sonic Frontiers, and bear in mind these leaks came out before I worked at Sega.
So someone who was working there leaked that?
Yes. Someone who was working there had leaked that.
Yeah.
And when I was the third person in Europe to play that game, I will still fucking hold that as my third person in Europe to play that game. It was before it was even named Sonic Frontiers. It was before it was even named that, and I knew it was named that because of the email I got that was sent to my boss asking for IT assistance to help set up the demo, set up the test environment for someone to play it. And I said, would you mind if I played it after I've set it up? And they were like, no.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty sick.
It's mental. But then when I played that game, I was like, as we've heard more since leaving about the development story of Sonic Frontiers and how it took 5 years, how the game was kind of like changed multiple times, I absolutely believe those first leaks were the early build of it. I don't know that definitively. I can't say that as an absolute matter of fact. But when I look at them now, I'm like, yeah. But there was a leak that said you will get the Chaos Emeralds at the end of every island. You will collect the Chaos Emeralds over the course of the island. You'll fight the boss at the end of the island, and then you'll lose the Chaos Emeralds. It's exactly what happens in the game. You do it every time. Like, there are things that were just like, okay, yeah. There was an early build of this game out there that someone had put notes out on. And also, I do want to just quickly say, to the point of like, when we're saying like the creators, I'm going to say this, like doing my bit as the Sonic YouTuber, is when I have covered leaks, and I haven't covered leaks in donkey's years now. I don't really cover them anymore because I just used to get so much shit flung at me for it.
While you were at Sega?
No. Before that, my leaks videos were getting me probably more numbers than anything else because we don't have the leaks. People have their blogs and their Reddit subreddits and things like that, and that's where these leaks would come from, that then the Sonic tubers see and they bring to you in a video. Don't give the Sonic tubers all the shit because they're reporting on what someone else has written. They're allowed to have an opinion on whether they think it could be true or not. Like, sure, if someone's like, I've seen this leak and I know 100% it's got to be real. Oh my God, yes. And it's not, then they have a bit of egg on their face, granted. But like, stop shooting hate at them. They don't come up with this shit out of nowhere.
Right. Let's talk about you leaving the company. So, we mentioned that you were made redundant. and there was always that kind of feeling that you wanted to go back if there was an opportunity to go back. I'll say now, do you still want to go back? If there was an offer made now, would you go back?
I don't think back doing what I did, no.
So you'd want to do something else?
Yes, I think at this point, they've burnt their bridges with me.
What makes you say that?
Obviously, I don't really want to go into it in loads of detail.
Do you want to say what you said to me off camera? Or
I'm not going to say all of it. I'm going to say parts of it. So I basically, I'm gonna generalize. So I have been made to feel since leaving that, and this is my opinion, that my talents there are not worthwhile bringing back.
Okay.
And it's a very difficult one because, like, everyone thinks they work hard, right? Everyone thinks they do well. Like, I know I woke up every morning doing what I did because if I fix something for someone, that could have an impact on the Sonic series in whatever small little way that had it. And that was my drive and motivation for getting out of bed in the morning. And other people have seen me work at, like, you know, people that worked at Sega in the office that saw me running between 2 floors all day fixing IT problems, or people saw me working at game shows. You know, people in my personal life would see me at game shows. I worked my fucking arse off. I worked my absolute arse off with that job. I gave everything I had. I kept going till I bled in a lot of instances. Like, it was just insane the levels I went to get things done, you know, whether it be pulling an all-nighter in Amsterdam, not for the fun reason, guys, but because you haven't got the game code because the SSDs were lost on the flight and you're downloading it over a fucking 10 megabyte internet connection, whatever it may be. I put everything into that. And I feel like, and I don't know if it's just a me thing, although I have my reasons to believe it's not just a me thing. I don't feel like Sega want anyone back that they got rid of. I feel, in my honest opinion, that it was a case of they're gone. You know, we got rid of 30% of our staff and we move forward. But unfortunately, and this is what I don't know this, but I feel like this is their opinion. It's like, you know, we move forward now. We don't look to the past. We look to the future, which I can understand from a business perspective. But you lost an awful lot of talent in doing that. A lot of people that had been there for a very long time that were very dedicated to the company. And I think that's definitely the case with me as well. You know, I loved it and I loved the company. And now, after, you know, this whole saga, I don't have a very good view of the company. I don't admire them. I viewed them as some, maybe even holier than now, you know, sorry. You know, it's not something you should do for a company. And a lot of people had always told me that. And I think that's something that you kind of have to realize later in life. And it takes something like this to make you realize it, is that, like, the only person you should be that committed to is yourself or your partner in life. Putting all your faith in a company because you think it's the greatest thing ever, it's just, companies are ruthless. The job market is ruthless. You know, I'd never have thought Sega would do what they did to me and so many people that I worked with, and that's both people that also lost their jobs and people that stayed. Because, you know, you can imagine if you lose 30% of your staff, well, guess what? The workload's about to increase for those that are still there. You know, I think they did a lot of damage. I think they really did. And I know that certainly on my perspective, and, you know, I can't prove this as an absolute matter of fact, but I was told multiple times, like, you know, you have to keep your head down. We know you're upset about it, but you have to keep your head down, or you won't be able to come back. And I almost feel like it was a bit of a carrot on a stick, you know, like, but that was never gonna get to me. I think, as far as the upper management of Sega are concerned, that was dead weight. We move forward. Again, don't know that, but that's kind of how the impression I'm getting.
Would you say then that they don't necessarily value people such as yourself who are fans, like fans first and foremost, and do put that kind of extra effort in because they're invested? Because I imagine for a lot of people that work for Sega, it's a job just like any other job, you know, it just happens to be Sega, but
Yeah.
for you it was like a dream
100%.
job, it was an investment, you know, you're
Yeah.
still invested. I mean, it seems strange to me that wouldn't be valued.
I mean, there were certainly people that, in my opinion, took advantage of that with me.
To get
Like
you to do
100.
more?
Yes.
Okay.
Knowing that, like, there was a particular instance, and this person was fired before I left the company. So I'll kind of talk about it. Not about why he was fired, but I'll talk about the scenario.
Are you sure you can talk about that?
I think to some degree. So he was in charge of setting something up to do with an online gaming platform. Sure, doesn't take 2 seconds to figure out what that is. It's a PC platform. To coincide a sale. It was always then run as a stream by me. And I would stream directly to that web page's storefront about this sale with this thing that we had put up. The guy didn't give me the correct stuff. This guy was someone I'd always had a problem with this guy because he was just useless. He was useless, made a lot of money. Again, he's long gone. He got fired for some not very nice stuff, I think, in the end. So wasn't part of the layoffs. It was before all that went down.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
unprofessional.
yes, not professional at all. And he left me with it, not giving me the correct information. Friday comes around, I go to set it up. Friday is a working day. He's not responding or barely responding on Teams when he's supposed to be working. I'm like, you haven't given me the correct stuff. I need this, I need this. I worked through the night. I basically pulled an all-nighter, and I had the Sonic Symphony the next day, which was the Sonic Live concert in London, which I go to every time it comes to London. I absolutely love it. And you know, he knew that I would just keep trying with it. And oh yeah, well, he should be able to figure it out because it's him. But then he got a lovely message in a group chat that I had created with all the managers that were super. Well, no, I hadn't created it. I was put into this group chat, I think, but it was everyone on this project, and was just like, I suggest you get your ass to the office, plug in a PC, and get it done yourself because I'm going to the Sonic Symphony. I've had enough of picking up your dead weight. I've spent all night trying to fix it, and you can't give me the correct information. You have one job. Yeah.
How did he react to that?
Silence.
Really? Didn't do anything?
No. Oh, he was. I'll tell you now. This guy thought he was tough, or like dressed like he was a tough man, but more looks like he's just come out of a Limp Bizkit video.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
That's a very specific image, yes.
Yeah, and I was like this. I'm not a particularly built guy. I'm quite skinny, but he made me look I was eating, and I'm just like, mate, see you later.
Wow. Okay.
What a knob. So yeah, I think there were definitely people that were taking advantage of that. I mean, and I would definitely say throughout all this, in my opinion, if you are a Sonic diehard, and I have said multiple times it's like a dream come true, I would say don't do it, because eventually it's likely to end in heartbreak unless we see substantial changes come from this highly volatile, unstable industry. Every day people's jobs are at risk, and it makes it so difficult when it's your turn. It made it that much harder because I am the Sonic mega fan I've always been. So am I saying don't go out there and apply for Sega? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying it's something you need to think about, because if your time comes and you'll always think, oh, it's not going to be me, even when I was convinced it was going to be me, there's still a part of you in your head that's like, it might not be me, you know? And it's like, when it's your time, it's going to destroy you. So,
All right, well, we'll leave it there.
It's difficult.
Let's move on. I want to talk about something. It's another heavy topic, unfortunately, but I said at the beginning that we would cover it and we'd circle back to it. So here we are, circling back. Is your experience with blindness? So
Ooh.
I understood that you got some laser eye surgery in the last year.
More than that.
2 years ago.
No, it was more than laser.
Oh,
far more than laser.
Just eye correction in general.
What? So I had one in March, which was the same surgery I then got 2 weeks ago again, which is called a vitreoretinal surgery.
Sounds delightful.
Are you squeamish?
I can be, but I warn the listeners.
Yeah, viewers of the Christian Reeve podcast, please avert your ears as we talk about this.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to see it, are you? Unless you put some picture up from Google Images. But I don't know if he does that, then also picture. Yeah. So basically, it's where the blood vessels behind the eyes burst, and the eyes fill with blood, so you can't see out of them. So the vitreoretinal surgery is where they cut the eye, put a needle into the eye, and suck the blood out. And then they laser it after they've done that.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that on my right eye in March. And things are going well. And then about 4 or 5 months ago, both eyes went on the same day. Just blew up. And I went fully blind. And then it's because this eye has had surgery on it previously, it heals rather quickly. So that's been healing fully, then having little bleeds, and then healing fully again. At the moment, I can't see a lot of detail out of it, but like, I'm not really walking into walls looking at that eye. It's not great. No chance of seeing the screen right now, but I can see. Well, no, I can't see, but I can kind of see. And this one, the one that I've just had the surgery in, is basically like nearly perfect vision. So I can see out that normal. But yeah, if you got diabetes, look after yourselves, people, because it's not fun.
Challenge, for sure.
It is.
Right. So on that, I
can see my Matt Murdock Daredevil period is over.
You can see it, Liz. We're headed in a positive direction.
Oh God.
Yeah. No. Are we? No.
Yeah. Let's go. I mean, yeah. I thought you meant the next topic. Yeah, I feel like we are. Yeah, we're definitely on the mend and going back to work next week, which I'm really looking forward to.
That's good.
Yeah, so definitely on the up.
Well, it's been great catching up with you, Jack, as we round things off today. Is there anything you want to leave us with?
What do I want to leave you with? I feel like this is where I should impart some words of wisdom.
Can do if you like.
Let it be.
Let it be.
No, do you know what? Actually, right, I'm gonna take this moment to here we go. Right, this won't be out in time for SonicCon. I'm at SonicCon this Saturday. If you manage to figure out time travel, you want to see me at SonicCon, I'm at SonicCon on Saturday. Right, so this man, right, I call him the blight of my shorts feed at the moment. Because I'll be there listening to stand-up comedians, and then I know the songs. The second I hear that chord, I'm like, oh, it's Christian. Mate, put a like on that one. Give it a scroll. This man is trying to get you to listen to his damn music. We're on day 300 something. Just listen to the fucking music. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. It's on YouTube. Is it on YouTube?
Yeah.
It's on fucking YouTube. You're already on the platform. Just go and give it a click. For the love of God. He feels like he's just existing out here. That was the plug. I like that song. That's my favourite one of the lot. Go and listen to the fucking music. God.
I should add, actually, I don't know if I've spoken about it on the podcast, but I set myself a goal of, because I'd never done the whole TikTok promotion thing, but like also on other social media like YouTube Shorts and everywhere, right? And I went all out with this album, and I'll talk about this in a future show, so I won't go on about it too much. But what I will say is I set myself a goal of promoting my music every day for a year. So next month on November 10th, we'll mark, I believe it's November, we'll mark 365 days of me promoting my music since the release of my first single, Bad Times. And I don't know, I talked about it in a stream the other day. I've gotten people around the world to listen to the music. That's cool. I don't have like loads of monthly listeners. I don't have thousands of streams or anything. I have thousands in the sense like collectively across all platforms, but not like, I'm not like an artist popping off. You're not going to see me like suddenly like blow up. You never know, but I've tried, and I tried to do like different types of things with it. Like I tried to just do silly stuff. I tried to do like use my voices and play with it that way. I also just had clips, I did like play-alongs. I've literally tried everything.
I'll go on,
now,
you can try.
Go on.
Yeah, right, guys, let's do this. 3 billion likes on this video, and we'll get Ariana Grande to do a feature.
3 billion likes? Is it even possible to get 3 billion likes?
If you get 3 billion likes, surely Ariana Grande might be like, okay, maybe we will do a feature.
Sure, okay, yeah.
For
if we get 3 billion likes,
doesn't
then I'll do...
Gangnam Style have like 2 billion views? So to get that in likes, you're making waves.
Make sure you smash that like button, guys, so I can get
smash
to 3
that
billion.
Like button. Logan Paul's going to come in and make a Prime bottle for it.
Crazy. Well, God bless you, man. Thank you for that. But more importantly, thank you so much for appearing on the show. It's always a pleasure having you on for the 10th time, no less.
10's a magic number.
10's the magic number. Thank you so much, Jack. Be safe, be well. I'll see you very soon, buddy. And to all the listeners of the Christian Reeve podcast, I hope you enjoyed this show as much as I did. Be safe, be well, and I'll see you and project to you in the listener sphere. I'll see you in the next one.